Welcome to the Glitch Report, your daily marketing botcast. Brought to you by Leadpages. Here are our hosts, Kai and Luna.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So we have three big stories for today. First up, we'll be looking at the just wild explosion of generative AI in marketing, like how quickly this is all happening.
That's really incredible.
Yeah, it's insane. Then we're going to shift gears a bit and look at how YouTube is adjusting their ad strategy to try and strike this balance between keeping creators happy, but also not totally annoying viewers with ads all the time. Then finally, we're going to wrap up by looking at Perplexity. So they are making a big move. They're going to be launching their own web browser called Comet. So should we just jump right into the generative AI stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I think the stat that really blew my mind, that kind of kicked off this whole deep dive, was this Gartner survey that found that something like 73% of marketing teams are already using generative AI. Isn't that crazy?
It's wild. Even just a couple of years ago, I feel like this stuff was barely on anyone's radar.
Right. It seems so futuristic.
Yeah, and now it's suddenly everybody's using it. It's just become part of the landscape.
So okay, let's break this down a little bit. How are these marketing teams actually using AI? What are they doing with it?
So the survey highlights three key areas. The biggest one, by far, is creative development. 77% of marketers are using AI for things like generating ad copy, brainstorming campaign ideas.
Yeah, makes sense.
Even creating visuals. So that's a huge chunk. Then almost half are using AI for strategic planning. Stuff like, market research or predictive modeling. Really trying to understand their target audience and the market trends. And then a good number are using AI for campaign evaluation, analyzing their results and figuring out how to improve.
So it's really hitting all stages of the marketing process, which is pretty amazing.
It really is. And the thing is, it's not just about the marketers, right? Consumers are becoming more accepting of AI too.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. People are getting used to seeing AI generated content and they're not as freaked out about it as they might have been a few years ago. That's huge.
Yeah, I think that's key.
Yeah, because if consumers were rejecting this stuff outright, then the whole thing would kind of fall apart. But the fact that people are open to it means that there's so much potential here.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, speaking of platforms and consumers and stuff, it's interesting how YouTube is kind of reacting to all this.
Yeah.
They're clearly paying attention to how people are responding to all these changes, and they're trying to find ways to adapt their advertising strategies.
Yeah, because we were saying earlier, nobody wants to get bombarded with ads, right? So they're trying to make sure they're not ruining the user experience.
Exactly. So they're making some pretty big changes to their mid-roll ad placements, which are those ads that pop up in the middle of videos.
Oh, yeah. Those can be annoying.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So starting on May 12th, they're going to be adjusting how those mid-roll ads are placed. Instead of just interrupting at these random points, they're going to try to insert the ads during more natural breaks in the content.
Oh, I see. So maybe during pauses or transitions or something?
Exactly. It's more like how traditional TV shows have commercial breaks. You kind of expect it. It's not as jarring.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the really interesting thing is YouTube actually did an experiment with this, and they found that this new approach actually led to a 5% revenue boost for creators.
Oh, wow. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. So viewers are less annoyed by the ads, and the creators are actually making more money. It's pretty cool.
It really is. It's a good reminder that a better user experience doesn't have to come at the expense of, the people who are actually making the content.
Exactly. Now, what happens to those creators who have older videos that already have manually placed ads in them?
So YouTube is going to automatically insert ads into those videos as well, but creators do have the option to opt out if they want.
Okay, so let's switch gears again and talk about Perplexity. So this is an AI-powered search engine. And I don't know if you've used it much, but it's pretty cool.
I have. I really like it. It's very different from traditional search engines.
Totally. So they're making a pretty bold move. They're going to be launching their own web browser called Comet.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah, right. And it seems like their whole goal is to basically integrate their AI capabilities directly into the browsing experience.
So you could be browsing a website, and instead of having to open a new tab to do a search, you could just do it right there in your browser.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about making that whole process of finding information so much more fluid.
Yeah, it's like having a built-in research assistant right there in your browser.
It makes you wonder, could this be the start of like a whole new chapter in the browser wars? Could Perplexity actually challenge, the big players like Google and Microsoft by offering this like super integrated AI experience?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, the browser landscape has been pretty much dominated by the same few companies for a long time now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would be really interesting to see if Perplexity can shake things up.
Well, I think it's a great place to leave it for today. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive.
Yeah, this was a fun one.
Bye.